I spoke late today with Dr. Anthony Fauci and asked him about that third vaccine dose for immunocompromised people and if it would be a good idea for everyone.
The immune-compromised people never had an adequate response to begin with. When you're talking about the classic concept of a booster for everyone else, you're talking about the durability of what you assumed was a good response. So they really are two different categories and two different concepts.
Right now, you still don't see a need for a booster for those who had the original response.
At this point right now, we are not having boosters for those individuals. But one thing people need to understand, we're following this extremely carefully. We will immediately be prepared, and we are prepared right now, to implement a booster program very quickly.
I'm going to ask you to put into perspective what we're seeing right now with this explosion of new cases around the country. Doctor, if we don't get this under control in some way, do we risk the possibility of the vaccines becoming ineffective? In other words, taking us back to square one?
That is a real possibility, Lester. We don't want to frighten the public, but we want to make sure they understand that we have 93 million people in this country who are eligible to be vaccinated, who are not vaccinated. If you allow the virus to freely, essentially roam through the vulnerable population and infect people, you give it ample opportunity to mutate, which means a person who's unvaccinated is not only putting themselves at risk and their family, but really are putting the community at risk.
Are either history or precedent on our side in terms of how all this ends, how this virus ends?
There is history and precedent on our side. If you look back at the history of devastating diseases and epidemics, smallpox, polio, measles, what was the solution to that? It was universal vaccination. If we had an attitude of people not wanting to get vaccinated, we may not have eliminated polio from our society. You've got to have people appreciate that this is a common enemy. It's the virus. We don't have a situation where we have the capability of saying, well, I don't really want to do this because I don't want anybody encroaching on my liberty.
Do you think getting a shot is an act of patriotism?
I think it really is. I mean, if patriotism is being concerned about your society as well as about yourself, then it certainly is. It certainly is.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.